Okay, welcome to today's video. So what we're actually going to be doing is removing the old cluster and fitting the new one. So what are the differences? Why would I go about doing that? So you can see this is the original one, and you've got your 1, 2, 3 analog dials, or 4 technically if you can include this on the right, whereas the newer version has the 2 analog dials and the digital screen here. So doing a quick flip over, it will work, but however you won't be able to control this screen. So I've got a controller that's coming that I'll show in part 2, installing the controller, but for now I'll show you the swap. Okay, so the first step to remove this cover is to actually undo this little Phillips head screw just here. So if you just angle the camera down, you should be able to see that. So all you need for that is a little stubby screwdriver. Get that in and get that undone. Okay, so that's that screw out, and then let me put the camera down and I'll show you how to pull this off, because that's it. That's literally all you need to remove. Okay, next what you have to do is pinch in the middle and pull it up and out. Okay, so you can see on the back got a number of clips across the front which goes across the top of the dash, and then these clip into the back. So when you're pulling out and up, they're what you're trying to pull out. So you could get a little plastic trim tool if it's a bit tricky and doesn't come out as easy as mine does, just behind here to sort of lever it up slightly and pull away. So I know I've seen in the past where people have used like a hook tool and just put it in and pulled. Whatever works for you, just be gentle that you don't damage any of your plastic. Okay, so once you've got the cover out the way, you can see we've got 1, 2 Phillips head screws again. Just use your stubby screwdriver to remove those. That's 1. Remember, just be cautious you don't drop those into the dash. Have those rattling around forever. So if like me you're doing it one-handed because I'm holding a camera, just make sure we're really careful that we don't lose those into the next thing you want to do is remove this radio surround. So that comes off easy enough. You literally do that with one hand now, so that's super easy to take off. That frees up this section over here, which will need to be disconnected as well. So what we need to do next is pull off this plastic surround. So this side just pops straight out. Okay, so now we'll move to this side of the cluster and we pull out and away, and we've now got this loose. So your cluster should now be pretty loose from what I can see, so that's a good start. Okay, so next you want to pull your cluster forwards and actually remove the wire block. So you push down on that tab in the middle of that wire block and out it pops, as easy as that. Okay, so once you've got that disconnected, in the video I just pulled that towards me just to pop it out of the lower clips. It should wiggle its way out, there we go, and that's your instrument cluster disconnected and out of the car. So it's a super easy process, nothing too complicated. Can't really break much in terms of what we were doing, it was all just push pins to remove it. Okay, so to refit the dials, let's chuck him in there. So just squeezing through and in. Then remember to reconnect that white block. Okay, so clip that in place. And before you reconnect and screw everything back in place, let's start the car. See what we see. So you can see straight away, without doing anything, we can see the dials are working. Let's give the car a rev. Rev's working. Now the big issue you're going to have, let's turn the car off so you can hear me a bit better. So is the TPMS light. So there's a flashing light up here in terms of the sensors for the tyre pressures. If you're fitting this to a 2013 car, that particular light's always going to flash, so you can either get it programmed out, or do what I'm going to do is actually manually take this cluster apart and cover that light up so it doesn't fail an MOT in the UK. Then what you'll also see is we don't have any controls. So on the steering wheel in the facelift car, you have the controls to control that screen. I don't have that in my pre-facelift car. So what am I going to do? There's a controller that you can get from Gerald's Projects. I'll put it up on the screen now, and it gives you a little joystick. So excuse the car because it needs a good clean inside, but you can replace this little panel here with a little joystick, so you can actually control that little digital screen over here on the right hand side, because we don't have these buttons. There's also the option as well to put the joystick here where your key would be. We don't have a key in the UK, so all ours are keyless, so you can replace that so you get your joystick controller. So this is a really good mod. Really excited to get that in. I couldn't wait for the controller to turn up from Gerald's Project, so I wanted to test fit it. So I brought you along for the journey today. So the second part of this sort of blog type video will be actually coming in and fitting the controller and how we fit that into the car as well, so we can actually can control this. But what I'm going to do now is get this all refitted back together, and then have a look at some of the different animations and things that come up on the screen. Yep, refitting super easy. So if we get these top Phillips screws in first, so once it's all located back in place, let's get those done up. So it's held nicely and tight in place. Obviously the connectors in the back. Next, it's a bit tricky doing it with one hand while holding the camera. Let's clip that side in, and that side in, and that's your this plastic cover back in place. Then you want to refit your stereo surround. So that's done. So mine's not, oh there we go, clipped in place, there we go. So that's that done. So it's super easy and quick process to actually get this installed and into the car, is to actually replace that binnacle cover. So that's now clipped it in place, nice and tight. Final thing we need to do is remember to put this screw back in here. Okay, so you're going to experience with me the first start of the car, so let's see the animation. So keep an eye out on this part of the dials. Let's get the car started. So you can see there we've got a little starter animation in terms of the BRZ. So that's BRZ specific, so the GT86 is a different one. You can see we've got miles per gallon, fuel left in the tank, something the pre-facelift clusters don't provide. You've got a little blue light which covers your coolant temperature, and that I'm assuming that will go out or change to red once it's up to temp. You've got a digital fuel dial there, which is really useful, and you can see I've got the flashing TPMS light, so that's something I need to get blocked out. But apart from that, let's give it a bit of a rev. So yeah, all working correctly. So at the moment I have no control over this screen. Like I say, once I've got that Gerald's Project controller, we'll be able to play with that screen and the different settings and what it can. So if we turn the car off now, I'm expecting there to be a little animation as well to turn the car off. Yep, so you see the BRZ logo again, the BRZ fading out. So it was a nice little video today. Hopefully you found that entertaining. If you did, please hit that like button down below and subscribe for future content. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Threaded bits, and there's actually little holes on the